We are here at the Ashtonbee Community Garden. It is July 31st, 2019. It is our second summer of our Ashtonbee Community Garden, and I'm here with Rachel Larrabee, who is our amazing coordinator and faculty member of our Community Development Work Program, and she founded this beautiful, luscious garden, as you can see, and she's going to tell me a little bit about what is growing here.
Okay, so right here we have buckets of cucumbers growing, and if you look close up you can see what the beginning of a cucumber looks like, and you can understand why pickles are formed out of cucumbers. It looks like little pickles,
Yeah,
that grow a little flower on top.
nice.
And that's cucumbers. This one in the middle is eggplant, but I can take you to some more. And why is there this
Fence?
gaudy, ugly fence around it? Because we have a groundhog community within our community who likes to eat our produce before we've given it to the students. Under here we have a lot of, so we just harvested, so if it looks a little scarce, that's why. But this is our greens. Got chives, there's some rainbow chard, this is spinach right here. We've got a bunch of different mesclun greens, and we put these rows on it to keep the heat and moisture within it, and to also keep out some pests. So different forms of lettuce happening under here.
And I love the butterfly.
Yeah, lots of pollinators. It's a pollinator-friendly garden. We have some pollinator plants, and those pollinators help our food grow. We've got
Hello,
some
little
kale.
butterfly.
Some people call this
is kale.
dinosaur kale. Yeah, something has happened with the kale this year, where there's these little critters. Oh, someone likes the kale. These little critters eating it up. So we're trying to figure out what was different between last year and this year. It might have been that we didn't change the soil enough.
Okay.
More greens. We have different types of green leafy lettuce under here.
Is this so animals don't eat it?
So animals and insects don't get in. Although insects find their
Ooh,
way.
and I got a green pepper today.
Yeah, this is our
Look at these beautiful, I'm gonna take a close up.
peppers.
Beautiful growing green peppers.
And right beside them are radishes, and you can see the little radish there.
Yep.
We've got some radishes going.
Yep.
And those are planted around. Here we've got some purple cabbage, and the leaves kind of support the little nugget of cabbage that grows in the middle. So this is all purple cabbage.
Nice.
And let's go back over here. So we started with the zucchinis all covered, like that white cloth that was on it, and they weren't doing so good, and somehow critters were getting in. So we're having two things happening once. We're seeing how does the zucchini grow when it's completely protected from critters crawling in, and what happens when we don't protect it at all, and it's still blossoming beautifully and growing. And
It's like a little experiment.
For some reason, the critters haven't been eating it either, so we're not sure why, but we'll see how it goes.
This is zucchini?
This is zucchini.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I learned while I was in Italy that you can eat the zucchini flowers.
Really?
Italians bread it.
Wow.
They bread it and lightly saute it. Yeah, that's what zucchini fried.
These are carrots.
This is carrots, and it's rainbow carrots. So there's
Rainbow?
all different colors. We've got yellow, purple, and orange carrots here. Let me see if I can.
Look at all these luscious carrot heads.
See, here's a purple one. If you want to zoom in here.
Ooh,
Purple on the outside and orange on the inside.
Nice.
And this one is a yellow carrot.
Nice.
Yeah, so the carrots are doing really good.
They look very luscious.
This is something new this year. We're trying eggplants. So this is all
How are they doing?
Different colored eggplants. So far so good. We don't have any fruit yet, but they've just flowered, so now they can be pollinated. And I've learned from Nephi that eggplants need a little support in their pollination, so you lightly tap the flower.
Really?
This is a fun thing about being in the garden. Everybody has their little growing
tips.
And
That's
tricks.
super cute. Everyone touch the little
bulbs and it
eggplant flowers.
helps them
Aw,
pollinate.
they're like little babies. That's so nice.
Yeah.
And what's happening over here?
And here we have a little indigenous medicine garden. So we've got our cedar. We've got the 4 medicines in this garden. Obviously the sweetgrass has totally taken over. So we try to...
This is sage over here.
Yeah, we've got white sage. And I planted some tobacco by seed. And it's getting totally suffocated by the sweetgrass. So I need to take the sweetgrass out so that it has more room to breathe. But this right here is tobacco.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. We tried to do a strawberry patch this year. So we're learning as we go. It was all full of strawberries, and this is a strawberry bulb. And what happens is when you plant the strawberries, this needs to be complete. It's called a crown, and it needs to be completely covered. So we had a mound that completely covered it, but when it rained, the soil drifted down the hill and the mounds got exposed and the strawberries didn't survive. There's one little patch of it right here. So this is strawberry.
Oh wow.
This is not going to produce any fruit this year, but it will come back. It's perennial. It'll come back next year and it continues to spread. So that's a good start for it anyways. And then because we knew the strawberries weren't working, we're experimenting with other stuff. We've got some peas, some eggplants, and some other things growing in here just to use the space. Here we have our little berry patch. So this is our raspberry bush. And we've got, every year the bush gets stronger. We've got these beautiful little red and black raspberries. And I didn't even know there was such a thing as black raspberries.
No.
So here, you want to try it?
Yeah. Thank you. Delicious.
Good, right?
So
this was really small last year, and raspberry just takes over. So it's abundant and lush this year. We've got here, this is gooseberry. We did have a blueberry bush in here, but it didn't do so well. This is our gooseberry. Try that. It's pretty nice too.
It's tart.
It's tart.
It's nice.
And we think this one back here is black currant. We haven't seen any fruit yet. Then here we have an abundance of tomatoes. We've got about five different breeds. You can see some of them are medium sized, the little baby grape ones. We've got some brandy tomatoes. We've got some...
So when will they harvest? Because they're all green.
Soon to be gorgeous heirloom varieties. They're almost ready. Like some of them are starting to turn color now. I gave you one for lunch. So for example, here you go. Like this one's ready. You can eat that.
Thank you. And so Rachel, can I ask you for this video, what is your vision for this garden and why did you start it?
My vision for the garden is to create an experiential learning ground for students to build food security skills at the same time as, oh look at the bee, at the same time as increasing their environmental consciousness so that they can map the two, because the greatest impact you can have on the environment, hands down, is the way you is your relationship to food and the choices you make around food, how it's grown, how it's harvested, how it's processed or not processed, and how it gets to market. So all of those steps, And those are choices we make around food every single day. So really getting our food right in terms of environmental sustainability is huge. So both things are happening in the garden at the same time. And closely linked to that also is Indigenous knowledge. So Indigenous nations all over the world knew the important connection between the environment and food. And food is the center of community. So we're also building community in this garden. It's very multi-purposes. There's a quote I saw the other day that the solution to all the world's problems can be found in the garden.
Aw, who's that quote from?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I'll tell you, I have it in a book.
But I agree. Nice.
And this is a special type of tomato. So to keep answering your question, this is like the small beginnings of creating that. And if this goes really well, we'll get funding to create a rooftop garden. So when this is really active and going, we'll see students engage, we'll see students being fed, learning how to grow their own food, how to cook their own food, how to eat more whole foods, which makes them healthier, happier. There's tons of research that talks about the therapeutic benefit of being in the garden, putting your hands and feet right on the soil. The minerals you absorb are literally healing for the body. So that's what's happening. And this is also an Indigenous piece right here. This is our 4 Sisters garden. It's actually a 3 sister this year. We didn't get the black-eyed pea in, but ideally it's a 4 sisters garden. So the 3 sisters are a polyculture, which are corns, beans, and squash. And there's a lot of traditional story and knowledge around why those 3 sisters are so important together. But essentially what a polyculture is 3 or more, 2 or more plants that grow really well together. They support each other. So they call it the 3 sisters. They're like family. They each serve their role, and together they synergistically create a whole. So when you eat beans and squash, rice and beans together, it becomes a complete protein without any meat. So that's very interesting.
This is beautiful.
This year we got sweet corn growing. It's not up yet, but the big leaves are the squash.
Yeah.
Obviously this is the corn, and the beans are kind of struggling this year. We're a little bit worried about the beans, and the black-eyed peas actually didn't even make it in there. But the black-eyed peas are to represent a merging of African and Turtle Island First Nations together into their own nations, which happened all over the country, but predominantly on the East Coast. And so through that merging of culture, the black-eyed pea was introduced into this polyculture. And so we're putting this together to honor mixed people, mixed culture, and allyship amongst different cultures.
Wow, it's like a garden metaphor.
Yeah.
All happening here at the garden. I love that. That's really beautiful.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, thank you for the tour.
You're very welcome.
This is great.
Anyone who's watching this video, we would love your help in the garden, and we give out food for help. So
Ashtonbee Community Garden. Thanks, Rachel.
thanks.